Welcome to Aizawa, where we dive into the quirks of imagination. What if DEKU's path took a different turn? What if heroes made unexpected choices? Here, we reimagine the world of My Hero Academia, one twist at a time. So suit up, fellow heroes, and let's explore the infinite possibilities. Silence, fires spreading about. Alarms in Konoha going off, heroes rushing to defend their home against the mighty nine-tailed villain. These were the thoughts that went through the Yondaime Hokage's mind as he prepared for battle. He gathered his things and his daughter, newly born and taken from his wife, Inko Uzumaki. Natsumi was about to experience a night that she would never forget. Hokage's office. "You ready, All Might?" asked the Yondaime sensei, Sir Night-Eye, as he stood in the doorway. "Almost, sensei. I just need to release all my QUIRK energy seals so that I'll be able to perform the Shikifuin." What All Might didn't see was the Sandaime Hokage, Hiruzen Gran Torino, sneak up behind him and deliver a devastating chop to his neck. "Sorry, All Might, but you have a life ahead of you. In addition, your daughter will need you more than ever now that nine-tailed villain will be sealed into your daughter," spoke Gran Torino as he caught a falling All Might. With those words, he took baby Katsumi and whisked her to the battle of the nine-tailed villain. Battlefield. Summoning jutsu was heard with a puff smoke following close behind it. Out of the smoke came the summons of the Sandaime Hokage and his student Sir Night-Eye of the Sannin. "Why have you summoned me here, you little bra?" Tiamad Gamabunta ground out with a puff of smoke coming out of his nostrils. "I concur with Bunta. Gran Torino, why are we facing one of the 9 demons of hell?" "I am sorry, Bunta, but we need your help so that we can seal the nine-tailed villain away into Katsumi. To do that, however, Gran Torino will be sacrificing all of his life force to do it," replied a terrified Sir Night-Eye as he had no wish to go against Bunta. "Very well, we shall help you with this task. But Sir Night-Eye, make sure that Natsumui becomes my partner." "I too will help," stated Enma the Monkey King, "but I want Izuku, the oldest, to be my partner. I'm gonna need someone new," with Gran Torino deciding to go out of the business. "Get ready, guys. Here he comes." With a roar, the great nine-tailed villain restarted its rampage. However, fortunately for Yue Hai, the nine-tailed villain was held down by Enma and Bunta. Meanwhile, Gran Torino performed the Shikifuin. With his last breath, he told Sir Night-Eye that he wanted All Might and Inko to treat Izuku the same as they would treat Katsumi. "Hi, Sensei. I will make sure to give this message to All Might. He will treat Izuku the same as they treat Katsumi." Hokage's office. "Damn you, Sir Night-Eye sensei. I was supposed to make the sacrifice." All Might yelled in frustration when Sir Night-Eye came back to tell him that the Sandaime Hokage had made the sacrifice instead. "Well, this is as good a time as any," All Might thought as he took Katsumi to the crowds of Yue Hai with Inko at his side. "People of Yue Hai, I give you my daughter, savior of this village from the foul entity known as the nine-tailed villain." Cheers erupted from the people of Yue Hai. Shouts of Yondaime and Katsumi echoed from below. Unknown to All Might and Inko, a rift in time opened up fight above Izuku's crib. Suddenly, a black dragon-like QUIRK energy entity escaped from the hole and sealed itself in Izuku, making him the Jinchuriki of the Jubi. Elsewhere in heaven, Kami was bestowing the powers of the Zanpakuto upon Izuku. He would grow up to become the best hero Yue Hai has ever seen. He would be even better than his father and sister. This is the story of the electric dragon of Yue Hai. "Come on, Izuku, Katsumi, we're going to the park." "Hey Ka-san, when you train Katsumi, can you train me as well?" "Sorry, Izuku-chan, but you don't need any training. You can start at the academy. Katsumi needs to learn to control the QUIRK energy of the QB." "TT, that's okay, Ka-san. I think that I won't go to the park. I need to go do some studying. Later, Ka-san. I'll come by later on." "Ok, Izuku. We'll see you later." With that, she left to take Katsumi to the park. However, Katsumi stayed behind to say something to Izuku. "See, big brother, I am better than you. They want me more than they want you. You are nothing. They wouldn't care if you went and died in a hole tomorrow. If you truly believe that, sister, then we are no longer fit to call ourselves family anymore. However, I will surpass you someday. Remember that well, sister. Soon you will wish that you had me as an ally. I will make sure that you regret this." Time skip 2 weeks. Location. Hero Training Facility 7. Silence. A leaf blows in the wind. Then suddenly bam. The sound breaks the silence. Izuku flies through the air working on combining the QUIRK technique styles of his parents. The Electric Dragon Striker. He created this QUIRK technique style by combining his mother's Dragon Death Striker style and his father's Electric Wind Striker style. The style was one that combined and utilized speed, agility, and unpredictably solid strikes. He was flying through the air trying to cut through a leaf with only his body strength. There was no quirk energy or elemental manipulation behind each strike. Only pure QUIRK technique. Ever since he was told that he would never receive any extra training, Izuku decided to work his ass off to make sure that he would be able to keep up with Katsumi when he entered the academy. But as the day neared its end, he decided to take a break. I think I'll go to the park for a break. I wonder if I'll meet any new friends. With that, he started his run towards the park. As soon as he reached there, he saw 3 families already there. The Nara clan, the Akimichi clan, and the Yamanaka clan. As he walked up to the park, he saw 3 kids playing with each other. The first kid was a big-boned, A/N or fat as some other people call him, kid with red hair. He also looked very chubby. The next one was a short kid with a ponytail. All he was doing was sitting there watching the clouds while muttering under his breath when the big-boned kid told him that he needs to stop being lazy. A/N in this FIC Chuji is a big brother figure to Todoroki. The last one was a girlie with light blonde hair and light blue eyes. He walked up to them and said, "Hello, my name is Izuku. May I be allowed to play with you?" The 3 kids just looked at him weirdly. "Why do you speak so formal? It's not like we're going to be mad at you if we don't speak formally. By the way, my name's Tsuyu. Tsuyu Yamanaka. The big-boned kid is Chuji. The lazy bum is Todoroki. Do you have any parents?" replied Tsuyu. "Yeah. I do have parents, but they're usually not around, especially my Tusan. He's usually helping my younger sister or at work. I only see my Kasan during mealtimes. The only family member I see constantly is my brat of a sister. Though I wonder if we are even related at all." "Why is that, Izuku-san?" asked Chuji. "Please call me Izuku. I don't like formalities. The reason I don't like my sister is because she is always saying that I'm not good enough, that I could go die and my parents wouldn't care. I just hope she is wrong," responded Izuku. "Chuji, Tsuyu, Todoroki. Time to go," yelled Choza Akimichi, father of Chuji. Coming, the 3 kids yelled back, "We'll see you later. It was fun talking to you," Izuku said with a smile. Tsuyu was about to leave when she stopped to ask a question. "Wait, you never told us your full name." "My name is Izuku Uzumaki Namikaze." With that, he turned and ran away. Tsuyu stood there in shock. This Izuku person was the son of the Hokage. Yet he was mistreated by his own family. His family members didn't even care to make time for their oldest son. She wondered what kind of family could do that as she ran to her father to go home. At that moment, her father decided to ask Tsuyu about the boy she was talking to. "So Tsuyu, who was that boy you were talking to?" asked Tsuyuki. "Oh, that was Izuku. He asked us if he could play with us. But when I asked if he had a family, he told us a really sad story." "Really, honey? What was it?" "Oh, nothing much. Just the fact that he is neglected by his own family and abused by his sister. When I say abused, I mean the fact that she says that he could die the next day, and his parents wouldn't even care." "I see. Did he tell you his last name?" "I'll see if I can help his situation. That might be a problem because of who his family is, Tusan." "Really? I doubt it." "Well, could you do anything about it if he's the neglected son of the Hokage?" "Did you just say the son of the Hokage?" asked Tsuyuki as his eyes widened by about an inch. "Yeah, Dad, I did. He says that he doesn't see the Hokage much because he's either too busy with work or he's spending time with his daughter. But he seemed kind of happy when he said that. I don't think that he likes his family that much. I don't know why he would be happy that they left him alone though. I would think that he's sad that they left him." "Well, honey, only time will tell. For right now, let's go home before your mother butchers me about being late." Location: Hokage's mansion. It was 6:30 when Izuku returned home. The first thing that he saw was his family glaring at him. "What did I do?" Izuku yelled after a minute of them glaring at him non-stop. "What's wrong, you ask?" His father replied. "What's wrong is that you've been gone every day for a whole 2 weeks. I want to know where you have been going." and what you were doing today. Well, I was at the park this evening. As for where for been going, that's none of your concern. Why? Because you haven't given a damn about me before. So why should you now? I'm going to my room. With that, he ran up to his room. Izuku's room. I wish I had a special power like Katsumi so that they would give me attention. But you do have a special power. You just need to find it, said a voice as Izuku fell asleep. It was a dark room in which Izuku appeared. There was a few candles, but they did not burn brightly. You could hear the water dripping like it was on loudspeaker. The room was darker than midnight. It was as cold as it is on a dark winter night. But at the back of the room there was a very large and tall cage. But there was nothing that could be seen in it. Until a loud roar started coming from the cage. Ruawayer, WW, who's there? I am warning you. I can defeat you in this mindscape since I am the master of my mind. Ha 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 ha. You are very funny for a human. You think that you can defeat me just because this is your mind. Well, sorry to burst your bubble, that isn't true. Well then, at least show yourself so that I can see who it is that can defeat me in my own mind. For you to be able to do that is a great feat, a truly great feat it is indeed. Very well, human, I will grace you with my presence. I am the Jubby, the 10-tailed dragon. Yes, it's true that the 9-tailed beasts are a deviation of me. But what? Then how are you a 10-tailed beast? I thought you were defeated at the beginning of the heroes. You were defeated by the savior of this world. You were split into 9 separate entities. You were sealed Inat, the first ninja. Your Jinchuriki was the Rakudo Sannin. Indeed, that all happened in this timeline. What do you mean, this timeline? I am from a different dimension in which I had not battled Yami. However, to prevent myself from fighting him, I ripped a hole in the space-time vortex to find an appropriate host for me. Then I found you. You were the perfect host because you would have to endure the hardships of being neglected by your pitiful excuses for parents and being beaten up by that ugly whore you call a sister. However, Yami and Kami, in their all-powerful wisdom, decided to bestow upon you some very powerful gifts. I can tell you what Yami gave you, but not what Kami gave you. I would tell you, but Kami has forbidden it, unlike Yami. Yami has given you the ability to manifest a sword that will represent your soul. Once you do that, you will be able to do techniques called Kido. In this, there are many categories. There are Kido, otherwise known as demon spells. There are Heido, which are destructive spells, and Bakudo, which are defensive spells. Next, there are 2 levels to which you can advance to. There is Shirkai, which is like a bonding stage and will make you 3 to 4 times more powerful. After this is Bankai. Bankai is so powerful that it will make you 5 to 10 times more powerful than when you are in your Shirkai form. Oh, and speak of the devil. Here comes the manifestation of your soul. Well, I'll leave you 2 to chat. Yane. As soon as the Jubby said this, he disappeared into thin air. But a dragon-like creature approached. However, this dragon did not look like it had any flesh or bones. In fact, it looked like it was made up of arcs of electricity running up and down its body. Regardless, though, of the fact that it was not a solid creature, it looked as wise as Kami Herslev. Hello, young warrior. My name is... Can you hear me? Sorry, but could you run that by me again? I wasn't able to catch it. It sounded like Electric Dragon or something. Young warrior, that is indeed my name. I, Electric Dragon, hereby grant you, Izuku, the ability to use my powers so long that your heart stays good and true. But before we finalize the usage of my powers, I have a question. What do you fight for? I don't know what to fight for. I don't have anyone who I even remotely care about. Maybe if I had someone close to me, I would fight to protect them. But right now, I don't think I can fight for someone else if I don't care for them. I mean, my sister always berates me on how horrible brother I am. She says that I should give everything I own to her. Well, Izuku, you passed my test, yet you didn't. You passed because you knew what you should fight for. You didn't pass the test because right now you don't have anything to fight for. Okay. Hey, can I get to know you better? I haven't had an easy time trusting people, but you seem all right. You and Juby sound all right. Can I get to know you before I decide to trust you? Yes, you can. I would have a hard time trusting people if I had to experience what you went through. Well, I think I am about to wake up because of this pull I am feeling at my feet. Later, Juby, Electric Dragon. See you later. With that, Izuku disappeared from his mindscape. He woke up to see a sword in his lap and a tattoo of a dragon surrounded by 10 tails on his right shoulder. He grabbed the sword, strapped it to his back, and left to go continue his practice on his new style, as well as start on a QUIRK technique style. But as soon as he got downstairs, he immediately regretted coming down. His so-called family was waiting downstairs looking at him expectantly. "What the heck do you want? I am just gonna go out for the day. It's not like you care about what I do. After all, you neglected me and ignored me. You just want me back into your life because you've realized how empty your new life is without me in it. Face it, you cast me aside and you aren't getting me back. Besides, I don't want anything to do with the Yandame Hokage of UA High. The only symbol of peace that passed away in the past 20 years that I respect is the Sandame Hokage. He was probably thinking that you wouldn't neglect me, but you've disregarded his last wish. The one that Sir Night Eye of the bumbling trio of idiots decided to omit. He said, "Don't you dare disrespect Sir Night Eye-sensei. He was an honorable person. He would never omit any of the words that Sandame-sama told him that night," yelled All Might as he defended the honor of his sensei. "Well then, Tusan, let's have him tell us. Ask him if he accidentally omitted something that the Sandame said on his deathbed. Call him now." As soon as Izuku spat out the words, a cloud of smoke appeared. Out of the smoke came the words of a wise sage. "Not, the great sage Sir Night Eye of MT Mayaboku arrives. Let all the ladies swoon as he basks in the glory." "I am," shouted Sir Night Eye, announcing his arrival until Izuku punched him in the gut. "Cut the crap, you old geezer. I want to know if the Sandame said anything concerning me the night he sealed the QB into Katsumi," shouted an annoyed Izuku. "Well, he said that he wanted you to be the next partner of the monkeys, and also that you shouldn't have been treated any differently than Katsumi is." "Why? Ha! I told you, Tusan. I was right." The great bumbling sage Sir Night Eye did indeed omit a detail from his report of the night that the Sandame. Izuku yelled, grinning, when Sir Night Eye admitted that he didn't include all the details of the Sandame's wish. "Well, I am going to be gone for the rest of the day like I usually am. Later, you fools." With that, he took off out the door, leaving a stunned group of adults and an angry sister behind him. As he ran to his hero training facility, he wondered what kind of QUIRK technique style he would be using. However, when he got to Hero Training Facility 7, he was shocked. Standing before him was Chuji, Tsuyu, and Todoroki. It seems that he left a bigger impression than he thought. "Hey guys, what are you doing here? We could ask you the same thing, Izuku. Why would you come out to a hero training facility and do hero stuff while other kids your age just goof around and play fake hero games?" asked Tsuyu's father. "Well, I do this to get stronger than my sister. I want to prove to my parents that I can be a someone too. I want to show them that I am good enough to be worthy of their attention. I hope that someday I will be able to step out of the shadow of my parents and sister." This last statement left everyone confused. "What did your sister do that makes her better than you, Izuku?" inquired Chuji. "Well, she only is the container of the QB, the nine-tailed demon fox. Of course, the fame of being a savior got to her head. She no longer is kind. She is always mean. But I don't care. So long as I am able to surpass her and my parents," responded Izuku with a face-splitting grin. "Well, how you do plan on doing that without any help?" "We could help you, Izuku," responded Choza. "Thank you for offering to help, but I already got some helpers in line. I am just waiting for them to arrive in UA High. Now could you leave, please? I really must start my QUIRK technique practice. But if you want to watch, just step off to the side." When he said that, everyone stepped off to the side. It seemed that they were interested in what a kid of age 8 could do. Suddenly Izuku started jumping off trees while at the same time punching the trees, which caused the leaves on the tree to fall towards the ground. But the leaves never reached the ground because Izuku would always cut the leaf into two with his godly QUIRK technique skills. As soon as he landed, though, he took out his sword and just did what felt right to him. Suddenly, after what seemed like only 5 minutes, but was actually 6 hours, he finished his QUIRK technique/QUIRK technique practice and noticed the crowd watching his practice. Tsuyu, Chuji, and Todoroki were wide-eyed while Tsuyuki, Choza, and Shikaku had fainted. "Well, Izuku, it seems that you will indeed catch up to your sister with the way you are practicing. We have to go home as it is getting late. Goodbye, Izuku." "Bye, Shikaku-san. I hope to see you at the hero course sometime." After all, it starts next week. I have to get home. Well, see you later, replied Izuku before he ran home. But as soon as he got home, he got a huge surprise. Sitting there, waiting for him, was his sister. Big brother, you are going to tell me what exactly you are doing. You are also going to tell me where exactly you've been going. You're going to tell me right now, or there is going to be some major trouble between you and me. No, I don't think I will tell you what I've been doing. You're not worthy of knowing. No one in this family is worthy of the information. You, however, will never know what it is like to be neglected, then have your family want information on what you are doing. So you can just go sod off, spat an angry Izuku. With that, he went to his room so that he could have money to buy dinner. He then left to go to Ichiraka's ramen stand. As soon as he got there, he was greeted by Ayam. Hello, Ayam Nasan. Can I have a pork and beef ramen? Sure, Izuku. I'll have that out in a second. As he waited for the ramen, Ayam talked with Izuku. So Izuku, when are you starting the academy? Do you know anyone who's going to the academy with you? Oh yes, I know some kids who are going to be attending the academy with me starting next week. Their names are Tsuyu, Chuji, and Todoroki. So how has your name been, Ayam Nasan? Well, that's very good. I'm sure that you will be a very good hero. I have had a very good day. The ramen I've sold today is 20 beef, 26 pork, 13 miso, 12 vegetable, and 21 chicken. So I think that I have had a really great day because of all the ramen I've sold today. How was your day, Izuku? My day was very good, Ayam Nasan. I was able to play with Chuji, Tsuyu, and Todoroki. I also got to practice my new QUIRK technique style as well as learning a QUIRK technique style. Beep. The ramen was ready. Well, Izuku, you better eat up. You don't want to be malnourished for your QUIRK technique / QUIRK technique practice tomorrow. Now do you? With that, she left Izuku to devour the ramen like a wild beast that has been starved for a year. As soon as he finished, Izuku paid for his ramen and went home to prepare for his day. That night, Izuku visited Jubi and Electric Dragon. Location, Izuku's mindscape. Hey Jubi, Electric Dragon, yelled Izuku as he appeared in his mindscape in front of Jubi and Electric Dragon. Hello Izuku. We decided that tonight we would tell each other about ourselves. I have volunteered to go first. I am Jubi. I like training to protect those precious to me and eating dango. My hobbies are playing pranks and causing mischief. My dislikes are those who think that they are those who kill just because they can. My dream is to make sure that you become a great hero. Your turn, Electric Dragon. My name is Electric Dragon. I like protecting those who can't protect others. My hobbies is pranks. My dislikes are those who want to hurt others. My dream is protect all who can't protect themselves. Now you go, Izuku. My name is Izuku. I like training and eating all kinds of ramen. My hobbies are reading, practicing my new QUIRK technique style, as well as taking care of my new sword. My dream is to become the best hero that I can possibly become. So can you guys teach me any QUIRK technique? I haven't really taken time to learn any QUIRK technique yet. I've just been working on my QUIRK technique and QUIRK technique. So can you please teach me a QUIRK technique? Yelled Izuku exuberantly. Ha 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 ha. You are very funny when you are excited. I will teach you a jutsu that only you will be able to use because of the fact that I am your Zanpakuto. But I won't teach it to you today. Today we are going to go meet some very special people. I won't spoil the surprise though. They should arrive in about 3 minutes. About 2.5 minutes later, 2 women appeared in a bright light. The first had long blonde hair. To Izuku she looked like an angel in human form. She had a very tall and athletic build that was complemented by her charming smile. The second woman had long silver hair. To Izuku, she looked like a pretty devil in human form. Like the other woman, she had a very athletic build and had a pretty good height that was complemented by a sadistic smile. We are the gods of this world. I am Yami, while the one who looks like she wants to coddle you like a mother is Kami, stated Yami while Kami blushed at the statement. Well, Izuku-kun, what do you like to do and what do you wish for? Asked Kami. Well, I like eating ramen and training. But I wish for a loving family that will not neglect me or abuse me, then want all information on what I do once I leave their lives. But I don't think you can give me that without erasing who they are right now. Besides, I don't like my biological family anymore. They are just a bunch jerks who need to know when to stay out of other people's business. Well, Naruto, spoke Jubi, we can give you a new family. But the family structure would be kind of weird. Cammy and I have been talking about this because we knew that's what you probably were going to ask. Well, I would be the dad and Cammy would be the mom because we both want to the best for you. Electric Dragon and Yami are going to be your siblings. This is because they, like you, are prone to cause chaos and trouble. Happy beginning of Izuku's family. As soon as he said that, Izuku ran to Cammy and cried into her arms while saying thank you over and over again. Well, Izuku, I think it's time for you to wake up. You'll have to train today. Time skip. Next week, first day of academy. As Izuku entered the academy, he saw the two people he did not want to meet. Katsumi and Sasuke were arguing who was better at Nin QUIRK technique. I am better since I know how to do 5 fire style QUIRK technique. Katsumi. No, you aren't. True, you know more QUIRK techniques than I do, but mine are more destructive QUIRK technique, responded Katsumi with an arrogant smirk. Well, I bet I could beat either of you in a pure QUIRK technique match at any time, came an unknown voice from behind them. They turned around to see Izuku standing there with a smirk gracing his features. Oh really, big brother? Why is that? You've never had any training in any of the hero fields. I know because Tusan and Kasan only spend time with you during meal times, yelled Katsumi in anger. True. I didn't practice at all with Kasan or Tusan. But that doesn't mean that I never practiced. I worked on QUIRK technique on my own. After all, who did I have to come to get help? You didn't have anyone to help you because you are a lost cause, you idiot. I wonder why your parents are even letting you come to the hero course. You would only embarrass your family, you loser, said Sasuke with a smirk. We'll see. I had best be going. I need to say hello to someone. With that, he crossed the classroom to say hello to Chuji, Tsuyu, and Todoroki. But before he could say anything to them, an instructor came in and told them to take their seats. As soon as he was in his seat, the teacher began speaking. Okay, everyone listen up. My name is Irika-sensei and I will be teaching for the next 4 years until you become hero. Let's begin. Irika looked around at all of his graduating students. He saw Izuku in the corner sleeping with Todoroki while Bakugo chomped away at his chips. Their classwork together was impeccable. There was Sasuke and Katsumi with their egotistical and arrogant attitudes. There was Kiba who always tried to impress the girls, but when it came time to work, he could defeat almost anyone in QUIRK technique. Then there was Momo and Tsuyu. They probably were the best kunoichi that has come out of the hero course save Katsumi. Then there was Ida and his quiet, yet wise ways. Well, started Irika. I congratulate you all on becoming hero of UA High. But don't forget you are only genin. The class this year have been chosen based on the classwork you have displayed during your time in the hero course. Team 7 will be Uzumaki Namikaze's Katsumi, Uchiha Sasuke, and Inuzuka Kiba led by Hatake Kakashi. Irika waited for a reaction, but there wasn't any other than Kiba smirking. Akamaru just barked, so Irika continued. Team 8 will be Hyuga Momo, Yamanaka Tsuyu, and Aburum Ida led by Yuhi Kurinai. Tsuyu and Momo cheered and high-fived each other. Ida merely nodded in their direction. Team 10 will be Nara Todoroki, Akimichi Bakugo, and Uzumaki Namikaze Izuku led by DEKU Heiate. Izuku and Todoroki merely woke up and nodded. Bakugo just started to chomp at his chips even more furiously. Well, finished Irika, you'll all have stay here and wait for your instructors. They'll be here in about, oh wait a minute, they're here now. Good luck on your hero journey. With that, 2 jounin came into the room. One was a swordsman with a regular jounin uniform. The other was a red-eyed jounin. She wore strips of red and white cloth. Team 10 with me, spoke the swordsman. Meet me on the roof. With that, the swordsman disappeared in a cloud of smoke. Oh yeah, cheered Izuku as he and his classmates walked up to the roof. We got a freaking bloody swordsman. We got the best instructor. Team 8, you are with me, spoke the red-eyed lady. Meet me at the swing outside of the hero course. Oh, and Class 7, you'll be waiting here for a couple of hours because Kakashi has a tendency to be 2 to 3 hours late to everything. With that, she too disappeared in a cloud of smoke, leaving a furious Class 7. On the rooftop, okay team, tell me about yourself. I'll go first. My name is DEKU Heiate. My likes are my girlfriend Yuzuki Yuego and sushi. My hobbies are perfecting my sword skills. My dislikes are when people diss sword fighting and when my sword gets messed up. Okay, you lazy bum, it's your turn. Troublesome. My name is Nara Todoroki. I like doing nothing. My hobbies are staring at clouds. My dislikes are doing work. Go Bakugo while I take a nap. Munch. Munch. My name is Akimichi Bakugo. I like protecting my friends and attempting to out-eat Izuku. My hobbies are eating chips. My dislikes are people who call me fat. Go Izuku. Huh? Oh, my turn, right? My name is Uzumaki Namikaze Izuku. I like taking care of my sword and out-eating Bakugo in food contests. My hobbies are pulling pranks on Katsumi and Sasuke of the Arrogant Clan. My dislikes are my family, especially my fucking sister. Hayate's eyes widened at this statement. Who could not like their own family? Well, said Hayate after getting over his shock, we have a survival exercise tomorrow morning starting at 6 o'clock in the morning at Hero Training Facility 10. Don't be late or you'll be doing 20 laps around UA High with Madogai as punishment. The fact that they would be running 20 laps around UA High sent fear into Team Hayate's mind. They all nodded. Izuku went to their class Hero Training Facility Totrain, while Bakugo and Todoroki went home to rest.
Pipe Hokage's mention, 6 o'clock p.m. pipe.
Bam! That was the sound that Izuku made as he marched into the Hokage mansion. Inko came running out of the family room to see her son marching towards the kitchen. Izuku, what's wrong? Are you upset about your class placement? No. In fact, my class will be the best class since the Sannin. It's Katsumi that's making me so mad. I was training in the forest at Hero Training Facility 10, my class Hero Training Facility, and Katsumi and Sasuke come up to me and start to attacking me while I am executing one of my QUIRK technique attacks. But when I defeated them, oh yes, I defeated both of them on my own. They complained that I only beat them because they weren't using QUIRK technique. I want you to warn Katsumi, if she ever tries to pull a stunt like that again, I will kill her, replied Izuku with so much venom in his voice. It scared Inko out of her wits. Izuku then marched towards the kitchen to get something to eat. Inko sighed and was about to go back to the family room when Katsumi came into the house. Ka-san, whined Katsumi, can you punish Izuku? He attacked me and Sasuke while we were training in the forest. We were even on our class Hero Training Facility. Katsumi, breathed Inko slowly, are you telling the truth? Of course, Ka-san, relied Katsumi. Why do you ask? I ask because your brother just told me that you attacked him, so who is telling the truth? Did you attack him? Tell me now, Katsumi. If you don't, I'll assume that you did it no matter what. Confess and your punishment won't be as bad, yelled Inko. Okay. Sasuke and I attacked Izuku while he was training on his hero training facility. But why does that matter? I am the savior of the village. I can do anything that I want, relied an arrogant Katsumi. What? Uzumaki Namikaze Katsumi. You are grounded for month. Go to your room. I don't want to see you down here for the rest of the night, yelled a furious Inko. Next day, 5:45 a.m. Hey Chomper, bum, Izuku called out as he jogged up to Hero Training Facility 10. Hey Ryu, what's up? Asked Bakugo. Nothing much. I just kicked Katsumi's ass yesterday and my parents didn't punish me for it, so it's all good. This sent both Todoroki and Bakugo into shock. Izuku's parents not punishing Izuku for beating his sister? That never happened. However, a person appeared in a cloud of smoke interrupted their thoughts. Hello class, said Hayate as the smoke from the body flicker quirk technique disappeared. Here is this survival exercise goal. You are to obtain one of 2 bells from me. This means that one of you will be going back to the hero course. Begin when I drop my hand. This mission statement scared the class. One of them would be going back to the hero course. What was going on? Then, when Hayate dropped his hand, Izuku, Bakugo, and Todoroki jumped away into the trees. Hayate looked around and saw he could not find a trace of his students or their quirk energy. Meanwhile, in the trees, Izuku traveled to Bakugo, pissed. Bakugo, forget what Hayate-sensei just told us, we have to work together to get those bells. I mean, how can we, a single genin, defeat a trained elite jounin? The answer is that we can't. Let's go tell Todoroki so that we can formulate a plan to capture Hayate-sensei. Bakugo nodded in agreement. They then jumped through the trees to find Todoroki. They ran into Todoroki as he was trying to find them. Okay, Todoroki, Izuku said, "This the plan. First, Bakugo and I will drive Hayate-sensei into the shadow of a tree. When he gets there, you use your shadow possession quirk technique to capture him. Everyone understand the plan?" Everyone nodded, confirming their knowledge and understanding of the plan. Bakugo and Izuku jumped out of the trees to ready their attack on Hayate. Meanwhile, Todoroki got behind Hayate to get ready to use his body possession quirk technique. "Hayate-sensei," Izuku yelled, "we will take those bells from you, no matter what it takes. Dragon Wind Strike." With that, Izuku propelled himself forward in spinning motion while using wind elemental manipulation to give Hayate multiple cuts. Bakugo then initiated his own attack, partial body expansion jutsu. After using his quirk technique, his two arms expanded to create two large towering arms and fists. Bakugo jumped towards Hayate and slammed both of his fists into where Hayate was standing. To avoid Bakugo's fists, Hayate jumped backwards into the shadows of the trees. But when he saw Izuku's smirk, his widened in realization. Shadow possession jutsu called Todoroki. He then walked out of the shadows of the trees to let Hayate see him. Next, Bakugo grabbed the bells while Izuku held his sword to Hayate's neck, preventing Hayate from making any sudden movements. "Well, class," started Hayate, "you all pass with flying colors. Not only were you able to get the bells from me, but you worked together flawlessly. We start missions tomorrow."
Yane.
With a cloud of smoke, Hayate disappeared to go to the Hokage's office. Hokage's office. Hayate appeared in the symbol of peace's office to see all the jounin there, except for Kakashi. 2 hours later, Kakashi appeared in the office reading his Ika book. "Sorry I'm late. There was an old woman and a black cat that crossed my path," said Kakashi while giving a cheesy smile. All Might just sighed. "Let's get this over with. Who passed?" Team 1, fail. Team 2, hospitalization. Team 3, fail. Team 4, fail. Team 5, fail. Team 6, fail. Team 7, pass, barely. Everyone looked around to see if the sky was falling. Kakashi never ever passed a single genin class. What was going on? Team 8, pass, satisfactory. Team 10, pass with flying colors. Everyone raised their eyebrows at this. No genin class had ever passed with flying colors in the history of UA High. Well, All Might said after all the jounin instructors had given their reports, "That's very good. I will want daily reports on the 3 rookie genin class. Have a good day." Dismissed. Then All Might got up and flashed back home. Next week location: forest. This is Ryu. I'm in position. Target is in sight. 10 feet in front of him, there was a cat with a ribbon on her left ear that read, "Tora." "Ryu, this is Bum. Chomper and I are in position. Ready to take the target?" "Yes, I am." "Chomper, get ready. Mission capture Tora is a go." Suddenly Todoroki used his shadow possession quirk technique on the cat. Izuku and Bakugo then doggy-piled on the cat, while at the same time Todoroki released his jutsu. "Hayate-sensei," Izuku spoke into his mic. "This is Ryu. Mission capture Tora is accomplished. Okay, meet me at the mission office." Izuku then told Bakugo and Todoroki that they needed to report to the mission office. They then started towards the mission office. "Mission office. Okay, class," said Hayate as the fire daimyo's wife took her cat. "Tora, you did very well. You also have completed 10 more than the required D rank mission to go on a C rank. But I don't want to go on the mission alone. So we will be doing a C rank mission with Class 8. We will be escorting a bridge builder named Tazuna back to his home country." Everyone but Izuku dismissed. Todoroki and Bakugo nodded and went home to pack for the C rank mission that they had just received. Izuku spoke All Might after everyone left. "This isn't a C rank mission." Izuku's eyes bulged out of their eye sockets. "Then what rank is it, Hokage-sama?" "It is most likely an A border S rank mission. Tazuna told us that Gato, the richest person in the world, is after him. However, his village can't afford anything more than a C rank pay. That is why this is a joint mission." "Izuku, Hayate tells me that you are as proficient with a sword as him, maybe more. However, if you encounter resistance, you are to let Hayate deal with it first. Understood, Izuku?"
Hai. Hokage-sama.
Then Izuku bowed to All Might and left to prepare for the mission. 10 minutes later, village gates. Hello, spoke a old bearded man. My name is Tazuna, the super bridge builder of the wave. You are to protect me, even if it costs you your life. All the genin but Izuku looked at the man like he was crazy. Well, said the bridge builder, let's get going. We don't have time to waste. The genin and jounin merely nodded in agreement. Let mission escort Tazuna to the wave commence, shouted Izuku and Bakugo. The other genin except Ida nodded excitedly. Ida merely blinked his eyes in understanding. The group then set off with Team Hayate in the front, Tazuna in the middle, and Team Kurenai in the back. However, as they were walking, Izuku saw something strange. There was water on the ground when there hadn't been any rain for a few weeks. Todoroki, Izuku said to Todoroki using Umbu sign language, check to see if the puddles are a QUIRK technique. If it is, dispel it. I'll tell you why later. Go. Todoroki nodded and looked at the puddles of water and focused some QUIRK energy into them, making them dispel, revealing the two demon brothers of the hidden mist. They attacked immediately, cutting right through their sensei, killing them. Izuku narrowed his eyes and gathered lightning QUIRK energy around his fists. Bakugo, let's go. We need to get rid of this trash permanently. Sorry, Bakugo, but we can't afford to show any mercy right now. Lightning spiral strike. Izuku jumped up into the air and started spinning downwards to one of the demon brothers, while producing lightning around his body. Izuku then gorged a hole right through the first demon brother's stomach, killing him instantly. Partial expansion jutsu. Bakugo enlarged one of his arms and fist and crushed the other brother like a pancake. All the other genin except Ida were in shock. Izuku and Bakugo had just mercilessly killed Chihiro on their own. They looked to see where their sensei's bodies were, only to find pieces of wood. Kurenai and Hayate jumped out of the trees and congratulated Izuku and Bakugo for not freezing up in battle. Kurenai was about to talk to Tazuna when Hayate shook his head. He looked at the rest of the class before speaking. Everyone, spoke Hayate, getting the attention of all the genin. I will not force you to go this mission if you don't want to. This mission was officially ranked C class. But in reality, it is an A borderline S rank mission. It was ranked C because Tazuna's village can't give us the money for an A rank mission. But we chose my class because Izuku is more proficient in using the sword than I am. His skill can match one of the 7 swordsmen of the hidden mist. So, anyone want to continue with the mission? All the genin looked at each other before Izuku stood and said, nothing is going to stop this mission. Not even the demon of the hidden mist will be able to stop this mission. I will go on. Bakugo, Todoroki, you with me? They just smiled and nodded. We're with you to the very end. You should know this best of all, Izuku, relied Bakugo. Then the rest of the genin stood up, indicating that they too wanted to continue on this mission. Hayate smiled and nodded. They then got back into formation and walked forward to the wave. When they reached the water, they got into a rowboat to get to the wave mainland. Soon after the boat started, they all saw a huge bridge. Tazuna-san, why is it that the bridge is so important that Gato is willing to hire Missing Nin to kill you? Asked Ida. Well, you see, Wave is isolated from the rest of the elemental countries. Because of this, the people of Wave have no way to make a life for themselves or prosper. But if I was to build the bridge, then we would be able to prosper like normal people, replied Tazuna, getting wide eyes from the genin. Pretty soon, they had to start walking towards Wave. However, before they could get all the way there, they ran into a 2 figures standing there. One was standing there with his sword resting on his shoulders. The other was a young girl sitting in a tree, sharpening her senbon needles. What do we have here? The QUIRK technique mistress of Yue Hai and the crescent blade of Yue Hai, said the swordsman, the famed demon of the mist. It's always a pleasure to meet another swordsman, even though you are Missing Nin. Izuku, get our class and Kurenai's class into any formation. Izuku nodded. He positioned Team Kurenai directly around Tazuna, while his class was in the outside circle. Hayate nodded at Kurenai and charged towards Zabuza. Dodge, block, thrust, jump, slash down, slash upwards, jump back, slash at the feet, kick. These were the motions that Hayate was going through as he fought Zabuza. Kurenai wasn't having a good fight. She was having a hard time getting a lock onto the young girl to use one of her QUIRK technique. She was running when suddenly she fell down from getting hit at a pressure point with a senbon needle. But as soon as she fell, Izuku rushed to take her place. But before they fought, she asked him a question. "Hello, my name is No Name Haku. Young hero, why do you fight?" Izuku blinked before responding. "I fight so that I can protect my precious people. The people who care for me, the people who don't just see me as the son of a Hokage or the brother of a savior. The ones who brought me from my darkness are whom I fight for," yelled Izuku as he began his onslaught. He threw 2 smoke bombs to obscure his opponent's view. Then he jumped at the girl and knocked her out cold. He then created a pair of cuffs out of the wind and tied her to the tree. He then watched in horror as he saw Zabuza overpower Hayate and capture him in a prison made of water. He growled, drew his sword and attacked Zabuza with all his hatred. "Zabuza, let my sensei go. Strike of the heavenly dragon." He swung his sword in a sideways arc, releasing a quirk energy-made attack that looked like a dragon. 1. Zabuza's eyes widened in fear as the attack neared him. He held up his blade to block the attack. Zabuza's blade started to scream when the quirk energy dragon attack hit his blade. But when Zabuza thought that the attack was almost done, his blade broke in half. Izuku was about to rush in for the final blow when he heard clapping. "Zabuza, Zabuza, Zabuza. I heard that you were the demon of the mist, but you were taken down by a bunch of brats. I expected more of you. You are no longer under my employment. You will die by the hands of all the bandits I brought with me. Goodbye and die," said Gato as he walked towards Zabuza with a cane. "Kid," said Zabuza, surprising Izuku, "lend me some kunai. I can't fight with a sword now, so I'll just use some kunai. I will take him to hell with me. Also, could you take care of Haku for me? She deserves a better life." Izuku nodded and handed Zabuza 3 kunai. Zabuza just grinned and put one in his mouth, and the other 2 in his hands. Then he ran towards the bandits. Dodge, cut, stab, duck, jump, weave, slash, cross-cut, kick, stab. This was how Zabuza fought through the army of bandits to get through to Gato. When he finally got through to Gato, he jumped on him and stabbed him with all 3 kunai. 2 through the throat and 1 through the heart. As Zabuza passed, he smiled, "I killed the bane of the wave country." Izuku went and picked up the pieces of Zabuza's sword, walked over to Haku. He released the quirk technique that was binding Haku to the tree. He then told her what had happened to him. "So Haku, what will you do now that Zabuza is dead? Will you become a missing nin? Or will you find a village to join? If you want to join a village, will you consider coming home with me? I would love to work with you as a leaf Nina," asked Izuku. Haku thought for a while before coming to a decision. "I will come home with you, but can you find a place that I can get Zabuza's sword fixed? It's the only thing that I have of him." Izuku just smiled at her and nodded. "Yes, Haku, I know a place where we can fix the sword. But can I seal it into a scroll for you? It'll make it easier for you to carry." "All right, class," said Hayate as he got out of the water. "Let's get to Tezuna's house." "Tezuna, how far is it to your house?" "It's only about a 10-minute walk from here, Hero Hayate," relied Tezuna as he straightened his back. "All right, UA High's class." Tezuna and Haku were moving out. "We are heading towards Tezuna's house. When we get there, we will continue your training." "Tezuna's house. To-san," yelled a young woman as she ran out of the house. "How are you? Are you safe?" Tezuna merely smiled at her and replied, "Yes, I am very fine. But it is only due to the combined efforts of the hero behind me, especially the blonde swordsman. I think he's a better hero than the Jounin sensei." The hero behind him stepped forward and offered their names. Uzumaki Namikaze Izuku, Nara Todoroki, Akimichi Bakugo, Geku Hayate, Aburum Ida, Hyuga Momo, Yamanka Tsuyu, Yuhi Kurinai, and Momochi Haku. "Why don't you just give up? I see you act. You always have a smile on your face. You don't know what it's like to truly suffer," came a voice from around the corner. Tezuna yelled, "Inari, come here." Inari walked up to Tezuna and gave him a big hug. However, that blew Izuku's anger. "Give up? You act like you know what suffering is, but in reality you don't. I went through the worst suffering my entire life. For years, I have never felt the true love of a parent. My parents just shun me in favor of my sister. Most of the village doesn't even see me as a person. They just see me as the son of the Hokage and the brother of the savior of their village. So don't you go complaining that I don't know what true suffering is. Hayate-sensei, I'm going out to train. I'll see you in the morning. With that, Izuku walked out of the house and ran into the forest. Momo and Ida looked surprised that their fellow genin knew this about Izuku. Kurenai-sensei asked a quiet, yet calm Ida, why would Izuku's parents shun him? Who is Izuku? What did his sister do? No one noticed that Haku quietly left while Kurenai was answering her questions. Well, Ida, as you probably know, his name is Uzumaki Namikaze Izuku. He is the brother of the Kyuubi's container. His parents probably neglected him to train him in the ways of the Bijuu's quirk energy. We Jounin don't know much about what goes on in Izuku's household because his father is the Hokage. But from what Izuku has just told us, I can assume that it's not a very pleasant experience. Everyone should get to bed now. Tomorrow, Hayate's class is going to train while my class will be guarding and helping out on the bridge. Hayate's class and Kurenai's class nodded. In the forest, darn Katsumi. Always making my life miserable. I will defeat you in an all-out match. After that, Izuku ran at the trees punching and kicking them until they fell over. Then he started using quirk technique. Lightning style. Bolt striker. Then a single bolt of raw lightning appeared in Izuku's hand. He hurled through 10 trees, making them topple over. Izuku then closed his eyes and said, Haku, you can come on out now. Haku emerged from the forest with a concerned frown on her face. Izuku asked Haku, why are you mad? Is it because your sister gets all the attention and you get none? Izuku shook his head. Then what is it? I want to be treated like a human being by my family. They only want me back when I start to get strong. That's not how it's supposed to be. I want them to love me for who I really am, not what I am. Is that so wrong, Haku? Relied Izuku. Well, Izuku, said Haku as she smiled, I think that's a good reason to be mad. If all you want is to be acknowledged as a person, then you should continue to try to get people to look at you like that. I hope that someday other people will look at you that way. I'm going back to the house to get some sleep. Are you going to come with me? Nah. I'm going to continue my training. I have to work on my water manipulation. See you tomorrow, Haku. Haku nodded and left to go back to Tezuna's house. Izuku closed his eyes and tried to imagine the water moisture in the air, condensing to create droplets of water. He opened his eyes to see enough water to fill a glass condense from the moisture in the air. Izuku smiled and continued his manipulation training. Next morning, hey guys, said Bakugo as he approached the table to eat breakfast. He looked around and asked, where's Izuku? Did he even come back last night? Kurenai shook her head. No, Bakugo, he didn't come home last night. We believe that he stayed out training all night. Haku will lead your class to where he was last night. Bakugo nodded. After breakfast, Team Hayate and Haku went to find Izuku while Team Kurenai went to help and watch over Tezuna as he built his bridge. Forest. Near where Izuku slept. Izuku! Yelled all of Team Hayate. They looked around in the surrounding forest, both on the ground and in the trees. Haku was about to move on when she saw a leg dangling off of a tea branch. Hayate-san, I found him, yelled Haku when she saw Izuku sleeping in a tree. Hayate and his class came rushing to Haku. When they saw Izuku sleeping in a tree, Bakugo grew a very wide grin. He told everyone not to disturb Izuku and ran back to the house. He grabbed a bucket of ice-cold water, rushed back to Izuku, walked up the tree using tree climbing, and dumped the water on Izuku. Cold. Who the hell did that? Yelled Izuku. When he saw Bakugo waving at him while standing on his tree branch, he lunged out at Bakugo, aiming to tackle him off the tree branch onto the ground. They rolled for a few minutes before Todoroki stopped them. They just smiled while Hayate rubbed his forehead and sighed. Okay, class, for the rest of the week when we're training, I will be working on your elemental manipulation. I have some quirk energy paper here. First NR, said Hayate before he was interrupted. Hayate-sensei, we already started on this. Hayate's eyes grew wide when he heard this. How many genin worked on elemental manipulation before their sensei brought it up? Well, with Izuku, nothing was ever normal. In fact, it was always abnormal. Okay, replied a surprised Heiate. What are your elements? I'm wind, answered Todoroki. Earth, relied Bakugo. Wind, water, and lightning, replied Izuku with a grin. Again Heiate was surprised. Since when has there ever been a genin with 3 natural affinities? Well then, how far are you on your manipulation training then? Asked Heiate. I myself am working on slicing a waterfall with only the wind element. I've cut lightning in half, and I can create water from the moisture in the air. Bakugo can split a boulder in half by just placing his hand on it. Todoroki can almost cut an entire waterfall. But he can do multiple cuts on a leaf in a second. So how are we, sensei? Relied Izuku. Heiate's eyes just rolled back before Heiate fainted. Later, Heiate was rudely woken up by Izuku throwing water on him. He blinked and saw his class staring at him. Okay, said Heiate as he got up. This is what we'll do. You are going to practice a C-rank quirk technique to the point where you don't need to use the seals for the quirk technique. Izuku, I'll teach you and Todoroki a wind quirk technique and Bakugo a earth quirk technique. Unless you already know a quirk technique. All 3 of them nodded. Todoroki and I know wind style. Great breakthrough, answered Izuku. I know earth style, mud wall, relied Bakugo. Heiate nodded. Okay then, we'll get each of you started. To do a seal-less quirk technique, first you have to shape the quirk technique in your mind. Then think of how it would go if you were using seals, next use the quirk technique. Izuku nodded, then closed his eyes and imagined using the quirk technique. He then thought of how he molded the quirk energy when he used the hand seals. He then got ready to use the quirk technique and then released it. Wind style. Great breakthrough, yelled Izuku. The wind quirk technique was not nearly as effective as it was when he used the hand seals, but it still ripped up a few trees. Heiate nodded in approval. The rest of their training for that week went like that until they could use their quirk technique without the hand seals 5 times in a row. End of the week by Inari. Hope to see you again sometime, yelled Izuku as he, the other Yue Hai ninja, and Haku walked away. Inari just smiled and waved. Izuku had spoken to him and the rest of the villagers. After they had spoken to him, they had gotten their courage and determination back. Tusan, Tsunami said, what are you going to name the bridge? I dubbed my bridge the Great Izuku Bridge, yelled Tazuna at the top of his lungs. On the bridge, Izuku smiled when he heard what the bridge was being called. When they got to the trees, they jumped into the trees to start their way back to the Hidden Leaf Village. Village gates. Man, this has got to be the most boring job in the whole village. Wake me up. Oh, look, here comes Izuku, said Kotetsu in a very bored voice. Izuma looked at where he was pointing and saw Izuku waving at him. When they got to the check-in office, Kotetsu saw a new person coming home with them. Hey, Izuku, who is that girl that you are bringing home with you? Asked Kotetsu. Her name is Haku. Can you let her into the city until she gets clearance from my Tusan? Both Kotetsu and Izuma nodded their consent. The genin class then continued on their way to the Hokage's office. However, when they got there, Izuku wished that he hadn't come to the office. Tusan, can you give my class and I a C-ranked mission? We really deserve it. Sasuke and I know more quirk technique than any other genin in the village. Kina has one of the most destructive Tai-quirk technique styles, asked a very whiny voice. No, Katsumi, your class isn't ready to handle a C-ranked mission. Your sensei, Kakashi, agrees with me on this. He says that although you can handle yourselves well in a fight, you guys just charge head-on into all your enemies. On top of that, your classwork isn't nearly as good as the other class that I sent on a C-rank. In fact, they're outside. Gomein. Katsumi, you can go. Izuku smirked when he saw his sister's face of outrage as she left the room. All Might's eyes narrowed as his daughter left the room. Okay, said All Might after his daughter left the room. What happened on the mission? Well, Hokage-sama, replied Heiate. First we encountered the demon brothers of the mist. It was there that we decided to test the genin. Izuku, Bakugo, and Todoroki performed admirably. Bakugo killed one of them with a smash of his fists. Izuku disarmed one of them, and then used a Tai-quirk technique and Nin-quirk technique combo to gorge a hole in the other brother's chest. Then later on we faced Zabuza and his apprentice Haku, whom we brought with us. I faced Zabuza while Kurenai faced Haku. Meanwhile, the genin were guarding Tazuna. But soon, Haku got an advantage over Kurenai. Then, Izuku rushed out of formation to save her. You can ask Izuku what happened after this. But then, Zabuza captured me as well. Izuku then used a quirk energy attack on Zabuza, which broke Zabuza's sword. Gato and his men then showed up. Then we gave some kunai to Zabuza, because he couldn't use his sword. He asked us to stay out of it. Then he rushed towards Gato, fighting through an army of bandits. When he got to Gato, he then murdered him by sticking a kunai in the bastard's heart and 2 in the throat. After that, it was basically just protecting the bridge builder and training. All Might nodded at the explanation and dismissed everyone but Izuku and Haku. So, Izuku, can you explain to me what happened during your fight with Haku? And why did Haku come home with you? Izuku nodded. During my fight, I merely threw smoke bombs to obscure her vision. Next, I knocked her out cold. Left her like that for the rest of the time. After Zabuza had defeated Gato, all the bandits ran away. Then I woke her up and told her what happened. After that, you already know about it. I want to ask you a favor too, San. Can you make Haku part of our family? It would make me really happy, because she's like a true sister to me. All Might nodded. Okay, I'll just draw up the adoption papers. Take her home. Haku, be here tomorrow morning at 8 o'clock sharp. I'll be filling you in on your new rank. You'll be a jounin. Haku's eyes widened and Izuku smiled. He had gotten a big sister that cared for him. They walked home, but on their way home, they made a quick stop. Hey Uraraka, said Izuku as he walked into the Higurashi Howling Wolf weapon store. Hey Izuku, who is your girlfriend? Her name is Haku and she's not my girlfriend. She's my new Nechan. Anyways, could you fix a weapon for her? Sure, what is it? Haku just smiled and passed the scroll to Izuku. He then channeled quirk energy into the scroll, releasing the 2 pieces of Zabuza's sword. Uraraka's eyes widened. Izuku, is this what I think it is? Is this the sword of the demon hidden in the mist? How did she get her hands on it? Well, Uraraka, she was once the apprentice Zabuza. We fought on our last mission. I broke his sword. Zabuza died. Haku claimed the sword. We took it here to get it fixed. End of story, replied Izuku. Uraraka nodded. Okay, I'll get to repairing this sword right away. But it won't be easy. This craftsmanship is perfect. Well, what are you still doing here? Get out of here. I have work to do. Izuku and Haku just smiled and walked out of the shop. But as they walked, they heard Uraraka mutter, "Lucky girl. I would die to get a sword like this." Hokage's manor. Soon Izuku was at his house. On his way there, he explained to Haku how bitchy Katsumi could be. Izuku, what are you doing bringing a girl home without telling me? Asked Inko when she saw Izuku with Haku. Izuku just smiled, replied, Ka-san, please meet the newest member of our family. I convinced Tusan to adopt Haku here. So now she's the oldest sibling and now I have a cool Neisan to boast about. My sister is a jounin. Inko's eyes widened. Well, then Izuku, take her upstairs and find her a room. Izuku smiled and took her upstairs to get her a room. That night when Katsumi came home from class practice for dinner, she was surprised to see the girl from earlier. What the hell is she doing here? And why is Izuku eating with us? He never eats with us. Ever, Katsumi yelled. Well, Katsumi, Haku has just been adopted into our family. So now her name is Uzumaki Namikaze Momochi Haku. Also, she's our older sister since she is 16 years old. As to why I'm sitting with the family, it's to support my sister, replied Izuku while eating his dango and Pocky. 10 minutes later, Izuku stood up to go to bed. Next morning, Hokage's office. 10:00. The assembled jounin were waiting for everyone to appear. With a yellow flash of light, Namikaze All Might appeared before the waiting assembled jounin. Alright, I want to know if there's anyone from the rookies that you think are good enough to compete in the Chunin exams. I, Hataki Kakashi, nominate my class of Uzumaki Namikaze Katsumi, Uchiha Sasuke, and Inazuka Kiba for the Chunin exams. I, Yuhi Kurenai, nominate my class of Yamanka Tsuyu, Hyuga Momo, and Aburum Ida for the Chunin exams. I, Heiate DEKU, nominate my class of Uzumaki Namikaze Izuku, Nara Todoroki, and Akimichi Bakugo for the Chunin exams. Meanwhile, at the Rookie 9 Forest Clearing. Where the hell are our senseis? They should have been here at least an hour ago. And why did they have all of the rookie class meet up in one place? Do you know why, Sosk? Asked Kiba. I have no idea. We should be training right now instead of waiting for a late sensei, responded Sosk with an arrogant scowl. Just shut up. Be patient. If you can't master this skill, then you'll never be true hero, said Izuku in response to their bickering. Meanwhile, at the Hokage's office, Hokage-sama yelled, Irika, you can't possibly allow them to participate. They'll break underneath the pressure. I taught those students and I know what it is that they are capable. None of them are capable of facing the Chunin exams right now. I agree with Irika on this one, said Guy. I myself held back my class for a year to make sure that they got the necessary amount of training to make sure that they had enough experience. You should hold them back for a year or two. I know what I'm doing, Guy. Irika, you may have taught those students at one point, but they are now my soldiers. You know not what we have done to improve their skills. According to Hei 8, his students are more than capable of taking down a few of our current Chunin. They are ready, replied Kakashi with enough determination to defeat the Hokage in combat. Irika's eyes widened. He was about to make a retort when the Hokage interrupted. Enough! Irika, the rookie class will be competing in the Chunin exams. That is final. Any other class are free to join of their own free will. Dismissed. Meanwhile, at the Rookie 9 forest clearing, the Rookie 9 was really getting frustrated. They were about to go do their own things when the senseis appeared. Hei spoke. Everyone, you all will be competing in the biannual Chunin exams in 3 days. The reasons that we had you all gather here today is to ask one thing of you. Whatever you do, do not engage the Sand Genin in combat. It's rumored that they are sending their crazed Jinchuriki. That is all. With that, the 3 sensei left the genin to themselves. For the next 3 days, all the genin trained non-stop. Team Hei 8 worked on class formation and strategy. Team Kurenai worked on perfecting some of their QUIRK technique and QUIRK technique. Team Kakashi worked on learning new QUIRK technique. Morning of the Chunin exams. Ninja Academy. Alright guys, let's go wild, said Izuku. With that, Izuku and his class walked into the hero course, only to hear some shouting on the second floor. As Izuku and his class walked into the hero course, he heard yelling from the second floor. However, once he got to the second floor, he figured out why. Let us in please, pleaded a girl who looked like a panda with her 2 buns. We're here to take the Chunin exams. Well, relied the guard, you don't look like you are ready for the exams. We took the exams last year and it was extremely hard. I don't think that you are ready to take the exams. Hey jerks, release the QUIRK technique. This is the second floor, not the third floor, came the arrogant voice of Katsumi and Sosk. So you saw through the QUIRK technique that we placed on the sign, spoke the guard with narrowed eyes. Of course we did. After all, I'm the heir to the Uzumaki and Namikaze clans while Sosk is the last loyal Uchiha. Do you really think that I am as horrible as my pathetic brother? No, dear sister, I didn't think that you were as bad as me. In fact, I thought that you were worse than me because I am older than you, spoke Izuku from behind Katsumi. She whipped around to see her brother smirking at her, right then and there, which irked her to the point that if looks could kill, she would have killed her brother. Right then and there. Just shut up, big brother. I am better than you. I have had extra training with Tusan and Ka-san. You have no idea what you are dealing with, she replied with an arrogant air to her voice. If you say so, little sister. Come on, Bakugo. Todoroki, we need to go to the examination room. He relied in a calm yet cold voice. Besides, I want to see Tsuyu. Besides, you need to catch up with Momo, right, Todoroki? He said to Todoroki as they walked towards the examination room. Meanwhile, the class that was complaining to the Chunin examiners was talking to Katsumi's class. Hey you, with the arrogant attitude. Tell me your name. My name is Hyuga Niji. The one who looks like a panda is Uraraka? Spoke the white-eyed kid on the Panda Girls class while said girl glared at him. And the one with the green jumpsuit is Rock Lee. Well, I am Katsumi. Uzumaki Namikaze Katsumi. The one with a duck's ass for hair is Sosk. Uchiha Sosk. Then the one with red markings and dog-like features is Kiba. Inazuka Kiba. Get ready to feel the heat. We will own your asses. Relied Katsumi with an arrogant smirk. Outside of Academy Room 301. As Izuku and his got to RM 301, they saw their sensei DEKU Hei 8 waiting for them at the door. Good. You all decided to come for the exams. If even one of you decided to chicken out, I would have had to tell all of you that you wouldn't be able to participate in the exams. You see, this whole exam is based on the classwork of each class that participates in this exam. Good job for taking the risk and being able to entrust your life in the hands of your classmates. Go in there and kick some ass. I know that you will be able to conquer any challenge, especially with all the training that we've been doing over the last couple of months. You are all well prepared for the second exam. I hope that you all are able to beat the shit out of all the other class in there. Remember, those who don't follow rules are trash. But those who don't help their classmates are even lower than trash. That is all I have to say to you. Good luck. Then, with a quick body flicker quirk technique, Hey-8 disappeared into a cloud of smoke. Well, that was interesting, commented Izuku as he pushed open the doors to exam room 301. Well, Luki here. The whole gang is reunited, came a very familiar, yet annoying voice. Izuku turned around to see the class that he really did not want to talk to, Team 7. The Jinchuriki of the Kyuubi, Katsumi. The last loyal Uchiha, Sasuke. The best tracker of the Inuzuka in over 90 years, Kiba. Yeah, it seems so, Kiba. If you don't mind, I need to go talk to someone. With that, he and Todoroki left to go find Tsuyu and Momo respectively. While he was searching for Tsuyu, someone came up behind him and whispered, looking for someone, Izuku-kun. Perhaps I can help you. Izuku suddenly turned around to see Tsuyu smiling at him very sweetly. Why, hello, Tsuyu-chan. Yes, you can help find someone. I am looking for a girl. She wears a very sexy, purple hero attire. She has blue eyes that I could get lost in. She also is my girlfriend. Think you can help me? Izuku asked with a smile. Sure, Izuku-kun. What is her name? Responded Tsuyu with a dangerous glint to her eyes. I think you know her, Tsuyu-chan. Her name is Tsuyu Yamanaka. Oh, replied Tsuyu with a confused look. I didn't know that I was your girlfriend. When did this happen? She asked with a shocked look. It is happening now, Tsuyu-chan. Would you like to date me, Tsuyu-chan? Or do you want to date Katsumi?
Then you will.
I am not like that. Do not ever question the fact that I am straight ever again, yelled Tsuyu with a fire burning in her eyes. However, when Katsumi heard the question, she started to glare at Izuku with the intent to kill him at the first chance. Sorry, Tsuyu-chan. I won't ask you that again. Geez, you rookies need to keep it down, came a voice from across from Izuku. Izuku looked up to see a silver-haired genin walking over to come have a talk with them. You need to realize that all the genin here are very tense. Don't make them mad no matter what. If you do, it could mean the death of you. The genin all looked around to see the rest of genin glaring at them. Oh, that doesn't look good, does it? I don't think I caught your name, stated Izuku when he saw the rest of the genin in the room. Oh, I'm Kabuto. Genin with any information you need. So any information that you want? Yeah, Kabuto-san. I want info on Uzumaki Namikaze, Izuku and Gaara of the Sand, answered Sasuke of the Arrogant Clan. Oh, you know their names already? That's no fun. Well, here they are. Izuku has quirk energy levels on par with most high-level genin. Known quirk techniques are clone jutsu, substitution, and transformation. His gen quirk technique is almost non-existent. His Taiquirk technique is on par with most low-level jounins. He uses a Taiquirk technique style known as the Electric Dragon Striker. It is also said that he created this style by combining the Death Dragon Striker style of his mother and Electric Wind Striker style of his father. In his last mission, it was shown that he was proficient with a sword. He was able to match Zabuza, Demon of the Hidden Mist, in a pure Kenquirk technique match and cut right through it. Gaara has quirk energy levels on par with mid-level jounin. There are no known quirk techniques for her. Her gen quirk technique is almost non-existent. She only uses the Hero Course Taiquirk technique style. Other than that, there is no information on her. As soon as he finished, everyone started staring at Izuku. What? Is there something on my face? I swore I got that bug off my face this morning. No, it's not that, Izuku. It's only the fact that you were able to take on the Demon of the Mist like it was nothing, shouted Katsumi, who was mad because her brother was able to do something that she herself couldn't accomplish. Well, Kabuto-san, could you tell us about the class with a musical note on their headbands? Asked Momo in a timid voice. Of course. It's said that they are a newly formed village, so they don't have much strength. This statement, however, made the sound hero to get very mad. They responded to this statement with an attack. The mummy-looking hero ran towards Kabuto and attacked with his gauntlet arms. "Gah!" screamed Kabuto as the sound attack hit him. He was about to retaliate when a cloud of smoke appeared. "Everyone, sit down and shut up. My name is Marino Ibiki. I am the proctor for the first exam. The first exam is the terror of the Chunin exams. The first exam is a paper test. There will be 9 questions on the paper test and then 1 final question later. You start with 27 points. For each question you miss, your class will lose 1 point. Also, if you get caught cheating 5 times, you get kicked out of the exam. You have 1 hour. Now begin your tests." With that, everyone started writing furiously on their tests. Todoroki finished his test within 10 minutes. In the next 20 minutes, he used his shadow possession quirk technique to copy down the answers onto their answer sheets. Number 31, number 8, number 25, number 42, and number 61 take your class out. "You fail," called one of the examiners. After this, Tsuyu used her mind switch quirk technique to take a look at Todoroki's answer sheet. After this, she copied the answers to her own paper test. She then transferred her mind to her classmate's mind to copy her answers onto her classmate's answer sheets. "Time's up. Put down your pencils," shouted Ibiki. "Time for the 10th question. But before I tell you the 10th question, there are some stipulations. First, if you chose to take the exam and fail, you can never take the Chunin exams ever again. So who wants to give up? Speak up now." All of a sudden, almost half of the rest of the examinees got up and quit. 5 minutes had passed and only the Rookie 9, Guys class, the Sound class, 3 other Leaf Hero class, 1 Sand Hero class, 1 Grass and 1 Rock Hero class remained. "Okay," started Ibiki, "since no one else is going to be leaving, I guess I can start the 10th question." After a few moments of silence, he shouted, "You all pass." "What? How come we passed?" asked a nameless Sand Kunoichi. "You passed because you all took the risk. You see, on missions you may have to choose between completing the mission and saving your comrades. What you choose could mean the destruction of your village or the death of your classmates. This is why you pass." "Now if we why," Ibiki replied before being interrupted. Crash. The windows broke as an unknown object flew into the room. Then the object unwrapped itself, while simultaneously throwing kunai at the ceiling, pinning a banner to the ceiling. The banner read, "Anko Miratashi, the sexy single proctor of the 2nd exam." Meanwhile, a figure stood up, obscured by a smoke bomb that was thrown along with the kunai. When the smoke cleared, Miratashi Anko, the snake mistress, stood there glaring at the hero. "You're early again, Anko," commented Ibiki from behind the banner. "Really? What's this, Ibiki? You let 33 heroes survive? You getting soft in your old age? Just get the hell out of here, Anko. I have stuff to do." All right. "Okay, Squirts. I'm the proctor of the 2nd exam. Meet me at Area 44 in 10 minutes. If you're not there, you're disqualified. Time/location skip. Area 44. Okay, kiddies, welcome to the Forest of Death. Your mission is to successfully travel through the forest. Your class will be given 1 scroll. There are 2 scrolls. There is the Earth and Heaven scroll. Your mission will be to retrieve the other scroll and make it to the tower in the middle of the forest within the 5-day time limit. In addition, you can't open the scrolls. Think of this as a test of trust. We also need you to sign these release forms. That way the leaf can't be held responsible if any of you happen to die. Does that mean we can kill in this test? Came a question from the crowd. Yes, though it's not advised to do so. If that's all, I'll be seeing you at the tower in the middle of the forest. With that, the Chunin guards gave each of the Genin class a release form to sign. Izuku and his class headed to gate number 7 after handing in all of his class's release forms and receiving a heaven scroll. Alright guys, Izuku said in a very serious tone, we need a secret password. It'll be Bum, Chomper, and Dragon. Both Todoroki and Bakugo nodded their assent. When the Chunins opened the gate, they sped through the forest, searching for weak quirk energy signatures to grab scrolls from. They found a weak class of Leaf Genin. They merely leaked some killer intent which was able to knock them out cold. They found an Earth scroll in their belongings and took off. However, not long afterwards, They heard a scream that sounded familiarly like Katsumi. Izuku told Bakugo and Todoroki that he would take care of it. With that, he took off in the direction of Katsumi's scream. Location change. Katsumi class. Not long after Katsumi and her class had entered the forest, they had been ambushed by a grass hero. They were able to hold him off for a while until he started to show his true power. But by that time it was too late. When Katsumi found out who he really was, the man started to release killer intent. He was Orochimaru of the Sannin. The amount of killer intent that he was emitting caused Katsumi to freeze up and scream like a baby. However, Kiba saved her by stabbing her with a kunai, releasing the hold the killer intent had on her. She was then forced to fight Orochimaru with Sasuke and Kiba backing her up. She fought him with her whirlpool swords while Orochimaru used his grass cutter sword. But even with her extra training, she couldn't hope to take on Orochimaru and win, although it was just QUIRK technique that was being used. Gore. I can't take on Orochimaru. If I can't beat him, how can I beat Toussaint? Plus, even with Sasuke, Kiba and me fighting together, we can't even injure him a little, were the thoughts racing through Katsumi's mind as she fell to the ground. Orochimaru was about to behead her with his grass cutter sword when another metal blade appeared above Katsumi's head. She looked up to see her own brother, the brother she abused, beat up and neglected, save her. Orochimaru's smirk faltered when he saw someone standing in the way of Katsumi. "Who are you? I demand to know," shouted Orochimaru when he saw that he wouldn't be able to kill Katsumi. "You wish to know who I am? You don't deserve it, but I'll tell you anyway. I am the forgotten son of the Hokage. I am Uzumaki Namikaze's Izuku. Nice to meet ya. Let's go wild," replied Izuku as he shifted his sword into attack position. He leapt forward while slashing his sword upwards, which caught Orochimaru off guard. This allowed Izuku to get a grievous injury on Orochimaru before he could do anything. With blood coming out of his stomach at a fast rate, Orochimaru channeled all his quirk energy into his teeth and neck. His neck extended at a fast rate, and his teeth bit into Sasuke's neck, leaving a cursed seal of heavens. Izuku whipped around, kicked Orochimaru in the stomach, making him run, while Izuku ran towards Katsumi, Kiba, and Sasuke. He picked up Sasuke and Katsumi and jumped through the trees towards his own class. Kiba followed suit. Location skip with Todoroki and Bakugo. "Hey bum? What is it, Bakugo?" "Don't ask Bakugo. He's on his way back. He's got Team Kakashi with him. He'll be here soon. I'll be watching clouds if you need me," responded Todoroki. He was about to lie down, but Izuku appeared out of the trees with an injured Team Kakashi. "Bakugo, get Kiba and Katsumi some food. Also, Todoroki, heal them with your medical ninquirk technique," ordered Izuku as he landed on the ground. "What are you going to do?" asked Bakugo. "I need to seal off as much of the seal on Sasuke's shoulder as I can. Remember that I am this generation's seal master. Not even Katsumi can hold a candle to me in QUIRK technique. I will be able to do it. Everyone get to work. Bakugo, if they complain, knock them out cold. I don't want any problems. Understood? Come on, Shika. We have a job to do." With that, they got to work. Bakugo unsealed some of the food from their scrolls and gave it to Kiba and Katsumi. Todoroki got to work on the injuries of Katsumi by using his medical ninquirk technique. Meanwhile, Izuku drew some seals on Sasuke.
Uzumaki sealing, partial seal.
With that, he slammed his hand onto Sasuke's shoulder. A bunch of Japanese figures appeared. With that, Sasuke's eyes opened. "What Ash? Where are we?" asked Sasuke with fear in his eyes. "You are in my class's camp. You and your class were injured. I saved your class from Orochimaru. You should be thanking me. Now lay down. You are injured and not well. You shouldn't be up. Your classmates are being cared for." With that, Izuku knocked Sasuke out and started to heal him. "Stupid boy. He should have listened to me," muttered Izuku as he saw the damage Sasuke had caused himself from standing up. He got up to go help Bakugo and Todoroki when he saw Katsumi standing there looking at him. He just looked at her with a raised eyebrow. "Why?" asked Katsumi. "Why did you save us? Why did you save me? Answer me." "Well, I saved you because, unlike you, I am not willing to let you die just because I don't like you. Even though you are my enemy, you still are family and a fellow Leaf hero. I would rather die than let one of my comrades die. Even you should know this. But why must you know? Answered Izuku. I've realized how much of a bitch I've been. I don't deserve to call you family. No one does. Not even Tusan and Ka-san. We have all been cruel. In addition, we've neglected you to a point of no return. I hope that you can forgive us. Sigh. Well, this was going to happen soon anyways. I can't forgive you yet. I can't even call you family or someone I like. I can only call you a comrade. I hope, however, that someday in the near future, but right now that isn't the case. But only you can decide that. Good night, little sister. With that, Izuku punctured her stomach, making her fall asleep. Bakugo, how is Kiba? Asked Izuku after he laid Katsumi down. He holding up well, but he could be better. It seems Orochimaru used a 5-elemental seal on him that locked his quirk energy. He needs his quirk energy to survive. Could you unlock it for us? Izuku nodded, walked up to Kiba, and pressed his 5 fingers against the seal and shouted 5-elemental seal. Kai! As soon as he said that, the seal on Kiba's stomach started to glow and the seal disappeared. Bakugo, Todoroki, we need to talk, Izuku signed discreetly. They nodded. So what do you need, Izuku? Asked Bakugo. We need to leave now. I know that we shouldn't abandon them while they're defenseless, which is why I set up a barrier that will keep animals and enemy hero away until they wake up. I know that I'm being cruel, but I'm only doing this because I don't want to be in this forest any longer. Orochimaru of the Sannin was the one who gave them their injuries. We need to make a beeline out of here right now. Let's go. With that, Izuku and his class packed up and started their trek towards the tower in the center of the forest. But as they walked through the forest, they saw a Sand Genin with a crazy look on her face while facing the Rain Genin class. They decided to investigate with the Sand Genin. Hey kid, yelled a Rain Genin. Get out of here before you get killed. I can't promise you won't get hurt. Just give me the scroll and you'll get out of here free. However, the Sand Genin didn't agree. I will kill you. Bring it, yelled the crazed female. I am Gaara, and with a flick of her hair, yelled, and I will justify my existence. The Rain Genin got tired of this and threw the umbrellas that were on his back up, opening them up and spinning them like a top at the same time. He then formed the ram seal and suddenly, Senbon needles started flying out of the spinning umbrellas. A cloud of smoke formed around where Gaara was hit. The Rain Genin thought that he had her when he heard laughter coming from the smoke. When the smoke disappeared, Gaara stood there unharmed. The Rain Genin looked at the Sand Genin's class for explanation. The one with makeup on his face replied, "It's actually really simple. Gaara can't be hurt whatsoever." A will of sand immediately erects itself around Gaara when it feels Gaara getting threatened. We don't know if it's Gaara's doing or if the sand has a free will, but Gaara has never been hurt. Even when we did some A-rank missions, Gaara never got a scratch. Meanwhile, the other sand Kunoichi was waving at them. "Bebe," she said. The Rain Genin class looked up in time to see a wave of sand rush out of the redheads gored on her back at them. They looked at Gaara to see her pick up one of their umbrellas and open it. She then stretched out her hand and shouted crazily, "Sand burial." Suddenly sand rushed towards the Rain Genin in waves. The waves of sand surrounded the Genin. Came the screams of the Rain Genin as the sand surrounded them. But they were soon silenced, for their blood came spurting out of the sand. The red-haired Kunoichi was smiling crazily, but her male classmate came up to speak to her. "Gaara, you didn't need to kill them. We already had our scrolls. We could have just escaped," yelled the one with makeup on his face. "Funny," replied Gaara, "I never thought of that. I must kill them to prove my existence." "Goddamn it, Gaara," yelled the makeup boy. "Listen to me. I'm your big brother." "Really?" said an amused Gaara. "I've thought of you, Kankuro, as a brother or Temari a sister." With that, she stretched out her hand. Her classmates jumped back in fear, but the sand just collected to form a stopper. She then walked away, not hearing her brother Kankuro mutter, "Crazy bitch." With Izuku's team. "Whoa," breathed Bakugo, "that was intense. We need to stay away from that class. Their leader just killed some genin like it was no problem. Let's go to the tower quickly. That class will probably take their time." "You're right, Bakugo," responded Todoroki, "we need to get a move on." "But how was she controlling that sand? It's unnatural." "I know how she's controlling the sand, replied Izuku, surprising both of his classmates. That girl is probably the container of Ichibi, the crazy desert priest of the sand. The only other way that she can control sand is if she drilled himself on the manipulation of earth, wind, and water. However, to have the control she has now, she'd have to do it for many years. Like me, she probably has only been doing it since she was 9 years old. Therefore, she has to be the container of the Ichibi. That is definitely not good, said Todoroki with narrowed eyes. We need to get a move on. It's getting late. If we want to get to the tower in time, we better start our trek. With that, they started a move on towards the center of the forest. They didn't stop for anything, not even food. They encountered no troubles except for one rock genin class. The rock genin really didn't put up much of a fight. They just complained about Izuku being the son of the Yellow Flash. However, Izuku merely sighed and sliced off their arms and one leg, leaving them helpless. But when they got to the tower, they were utterly confused. All they saw was a placard with a sign up. They looked around and saw no one. They, however, thought of something else. Guys, Todoroki said while looking around, since there is no one around, I'm betting that we have to open the scroll. They're probably a 2-part summoning scroll. With that, both Bakugo and Todoroki opened a scroll, which summoned Irika. Irika-sensei, shouted Izuku as he leapt towards his fatherly figure. We did it. We passed the second exam. Bakugo and Todoroki watched as their friend conversed with his fatherly figure. While Team Hayate spoke Irika, addressing all of them, you all passed the second exam. Since it's only the second day, you have 3 days to rest up and do whatever you want. The only thing you can't do is leave this tower. Izuku, come see me about lightning manipulation after this. We'll work on it after the next thing that comes up in the exam. Yane. A puff of smoke engulfed Irika, leaving nothing but an empty space. Well, spoke Izuku, breaking the tension that was in the air. That was very interesting. Well, we should go rest up, then eat, and then continue working on integrating our elements into our fighting style. I myself am working on a lighting style fighting technique. I'm gonna go find a room. Later, with that, Izuku walked away instead of using a body flicker quirk technique. 1 day later, Izuku was in the training room working on perfecting his lighting fighting style. Lighting style. Striking fist, yelled Izuku as he ran at the targets. He ran past them while attempting to slash at them. He succeeded because the targets split in half without Izuku having to touch the targets at all. He smiled and body flickered to the food court to get some food. When he got there, he saw Team Kakashi. However, when they saw him, they were infinitely mad. Izuku snarled, Kiba, what the hell were you thinking? Why the hell did you leave us all alone in the forest? Some animals or hero class could have came, snatched our scroll, and been off with it, and we wouldn't be any wiser. Well, I think that you should calm down. I knew about all those things when I left you, which is why I took the necessary precautions. You were well protected by the BA, replied Izuku before he was rudely interrupted by Sasuke. What protection? I saw nothing with my Sharingan. Well, that's because the protection disappeared the moment you woke up. That way, you wouldn't have to spend a long time trying to dispel my barrier. This, however, just made them even madder. What? Are you saying that we aren't good enough to lower a fucking barrier? Asked Katsumi. Yes. Although you have had training with Tusan, my barriers are much more advanced. I am this generation's seal master. I know that you won't be able to get through the barrier because it's of my own design. Only my classmates know the workings of my barrier. It was nice chatting, but I need to get some food. As if in perfect synchronization, Izuku's stomach growled very loudly. Izuku just smiled sheepishly and ran to get some ramen, dango, and sushi. He saw Bakugo eating by himself and went to sit with him. Munch. Yeah, this is good. Oh, hey Izuku, said Bakugo as he saw Izuku approaching his table. Want to sit down? I have plenty of room. Todoroki said he'd be up in a little bit. That's very cool, Bakugo, replied Izuku. How has your earth fighting style going? I think I got my lighting style down. Bakugo looked at him with wide eyes at this news. Why, you got your style down? That's awesome. I wish that you could help me with earth style, but earth and lightning aren't anything alike. After all, lightning is much more superior to earth. Oh look, there's Bum. I hope that he's gotten his style down. relied Bakugo as they saw Todoroki sit down with some food. "I hope that you all got your styles down," said Todoroki as he sat down. "'Cause I sure did. The Wind Elemental QUIRK technique style has been finalized all the way down to the practice kata. I even created a scroll on it already." As soon as he said this, he looked at Izuku and Bakugo, who both had a gaping mouth and wide eyes. "What?" he asked. "You have a scroll already? You ain't Todoroki if you created a scroll without being asked," said Izuku. "Hey," replied an indignant Todoroki, "I can work hard when I want. I ain't just a lazy bum." With that, Todoroki, Bakugo, and Izuku started eating their food. Time skip. 5th day of the second exam. Alright everyone, the preliminary rounds of the Chunin exams are about to begin. "Sorry Hokage-sama, but would it be alright if I conducted the intro?" asked a bearded man with a cigarette. "Of course, go ahead, right? My name is Gran Torino Asuma. I am the proctor for the preliminary matches of the Chunin exam. This will no longer be a class effort. It will all be based on individual skills. It will be a one-on-one. I will referee. I reserve the right to call the match at any time. If you don't listen, then you will be disqualified. But before we begin, is there anyone that would wish to quit right now?" Kabuto raised his hand. Asuma looked at him strangely, then said that he was free to go. "Alright, now that has been taken care of, direct your attention to the electronic board. Your names will be displayed on the electronic board. Thanks for joining us on this wild what if journey here at Aizawa. Remember, every hero's story can change with just one choice. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell to stay connected as we uncover even more twists in the world of My Hero Academia. Until next time, stay plus ultra.